And he just caught a hellbender. So exactly what is a hellbender?
It's an odd creature.
Like yourself.
Well,
okay, that's not what I want to have. And I cannot describe to you how slimy this thing is. I mean, you just about can't hold it. Have you ever just had one of those days where it seems all you do all day long is just catch hellbenders? That's what I'm after. Today, I'm looking for hellbenders. What is a hellbender? You know, that's why I'm doing this video. I think a lot of people don't even know what a hellbender is. Now, maybe you know what one is, but people that don't even know they exist, and that they live right here in the southeastern U.S. Now, today, I am in the North Georgia mountains following a biologist friend of mine with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and he does research on hellbenders. And he's telling me that today we're going to go out here in the wild and he's going to help me find my very first hellbender. And if you're wondering what perfect hellbender habitat looks like, this is it. We just pulled up, and this is the creek we're going to be looking for hellbenders in. And I get out of the snake van, I get my stuff, I'm walking down here. They said we have to get dressed to go. I said, dressed to go? What are you talking about? I asked Thomas before we came. I said, Thomas, what do I need to bring? He said, nothing. I said, what do I need to wear? He said, oh, well, whatever, just walking in the creek. So I usually walk in a creek wearing a t-shirt, pair of shorts, and just, my tennis shoes. They got wetsuits on with goggles and snorkels. I said, why are you wearing that? He said, well, Jason, the water's cold. We're gonna be in it for hours. I mean, we wear this so we don't get hypothermia.
we've already messed up his day.
Feels so good. So good and freezing cold. Ah, okay. And I can handle cold water if it's ankle deep, but this is not.
I like turtles. Thomas Floyd, worked for Georgia Department of Natural Resources.
So Thomas works for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. He's a biologist, and it makes sense to me why he's here. But Ty and Alana work for the Georgia Department of Transportation. Why are they here? Well, they're ecologists, and almost every creek or river in Georgia just about has a bridge going over it. So they have to understand species and their habitat, especially threatened species like the hellbender.
Well, as you can see, we're not far. There's a bridge right there. All bridges need to be replaced at some point. And as an ecologist for GDOT, it's important for me to understand species habitats, endangered species habitats, because we have road projects all over the state.
There's three things we're going to try to do. Number one, catch a hellbender. Then you got to process the hellbender, and then we have to do the triumphant release of the hellbender. But to catch the hellbender, there's a few things you have to do. Number one, find a creek with really cold water and get in it. Okay, so we've done that. Then find a big flat rock, which we just did that. Now we're going to put these nets around the rock, lift the rock up, and scare the hellbender into the net. Now, if that don't work, Thomas is going to go underwater and look for the hellbender. If there's one there, he's going to try to grab the thing. Hopefully, we don't just catch a hellbender. We're hoping to catch several hellbenders, then process them, then release them. The more hellbenders we catch, the more data we can get.
Probably just going to have to get it upright, and then it's either going to get away, get in the net, or maybe it'll hang tight. But this is a big one, so.
You think one's under there?
What?
You think one's underneath there? Or you think the rock's the big one?
The rock's the big one, yeah. No, Sometimes you can feel them under the rocks, just occasionally. I hadn't felt one, but this is a pretty good rock. One, two, three.
It's a lot bigger rock than I was picturing.
We'll just let it settle. You got it, Jason.
Hang on, let me get it. I don't want to kill you yet. Okay. These nets have heavy steel handles, and that's because if you have to grab a Hellbender with your hand, you can drop the net, not have to worry about it washing down the river somewhere. It just sinks to the bottom. Whoa!
Go on.
First rock.
First rock.
Let it down?
Yeah, let's let it down gently.
Let it down gently. Can't do that with that big rock. They've been looking for 5 minutes and caught the first Hellbender. That's cool. I can't wait to get a good look at this Hellbender we just caught. But first, we're going to try to catch another one. This is a promising looking rock, but it's pretty close to the bank, so we have to be careful to lift it up and not drop it. The last thing we want to do is to injure or kill a Hellbender. That would be horrible. So, very carefully lift it up, and hopefully we can catch Hellbender number 2.
Ready? One, two, three.
That's a heavy rock.
Now's your chance. You would have DBA. Check our nets. Yeah, it may have been. That was a good rock.
That was good. It's even kind of shaped good on the bottom.
So let's talk about how good it is later. Can I lay it down?
Yeah, sorry.
Hold that while we move the
Whew. Now tell us, was that a good rock? Now you can talk about it.
It was a good rock.
So no Hellbender under rock number 2, but there's a lot more rocks out here. So we're going to try to find a couple more and then start processing Hellbenders. This right here is a crawfish. Or you could call it Hellbender food. A playing dead crawfish here. Let him flip back over. Come on, fella. Can you get over on your own? There you go. You got it. You got it. You got it. So that is Hellbender food. About 90% of their diet, they think, okay, that's not what I wanted to happen. Okay, ugh, that did not feel good. So that's what they do to Hellbenders. They pinch them, except a Hellbender's skin is not as tough as mine, and it could really just pinch a little chunk off there, enough to get away from a Hellbender. So when a Hellbender finds a crawfish like this, he doesn't just bite onto it and try to kill it. He just opens his mouth, takes a huge gulp of water, and basically just sucks this thing right down his throat. So it's a very quick thing, and that way the Hellbender doesn't have as much chance of getting bit or pinched, which I should say, by this little crawfish. And I'll just tell you, that didn't feel good. I'm over here looking at this crawfish. While I'm doing that, Thomas is over here actually doing some real work, and he just caught a Hellbender. That's a nice one too.
Yeah,
that's cool. Is that might be, that's as big or bigger than the other one maybe.
Maybe.
That's your underwear, Thomas?
Yeah, that's where I keep it.
That's a big rock.
Yeah.
When you lift it up, I'll tell you how good it is.
Only when I'm holding.
Yeah. So it's time to look for Hellbender number 3, but I'm ready to catch one of these myself.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
That's a boulder. Hey, a rock. I can't get my finger. Oh, well, I might have it a little bit. We're going to see.
Let me know when you're ready.
If you can go up, I can get my fingers in it, maybe some. Whenever
1,
you're ready.
2, 3.
Okay, there we go.
That was easier than I thought.
I got you right.
Okay. I think if we got anything, it's in the net. How good a rock
Put it
is
down?
Yeah.
It's a real good rock right here, Thomas. It's the best rock I've ever seen.
Oh, got one.
Are you serious?
You got one?
Oh, wow.
That net was barely, like it was 6 off of that log. I don't know how it went in.
That's a pretty one. I bet it's a girl because she's so pretty. What do you think?
We'll have to check for eyelashes.
That's good colors.
I believe it's a
Rock
sub-adult. Wow. Spunky.
Baby crawfish.
I bet it's a woman then.
No comment.
This one came with a snack.
Between the 3 of them, they've already caught 3 Hellbenders. I need to catch a Hellbender before I go home today.
All right,
Part of finding a good rock is also feeling for entrances underneath the rock where a Hellbender could access it. And knowing where those are is a good idea. That way when we place the rock back, we put it in the correct position.
Okay. I'm going to try to lift it back this way. The current's a little slower for this one. So
I've got my net ready. So hopefully if the Hellbender's under here, he'll like my net better than their net.
I see one, I think. You do? Oh, the leaf. Check our nets. So there's the amount of debris here.
Hellbender.
I'll be dang. A little bitty guy. Oh.
I just caught a Hellbender by myself. Didn't even have help from them.
You're hired. You're hired. This is a little guy. This one is so small, it may still have gills. I think it's just reabsorbed its gills. Check that out. And that's why we use a net, because we would have never seen him. Yeah, good thinking.
Over the net.
Uh-huh.
So now on to my favorite part. I'm ready to get a good look at a Hellbender as we get ready to process these fellas. Ooh, he's a lot slimier than I thought. That's cool. Wow. He's hard to hold on to. Cool fella. Hey, open that mouth a little bit. That's really cool. Whoa, man, he is real. I mean, I'm used to alligators, okay? I'm used to grabbing a gator and I can hang on to him pretty good. But you can't squeeze him too hard. And if you don't squeeze him hard enough, he'll just crawl right out of your hands. So this is my very first Hellbender. That is so cool. And I cannot describe to you how slimy this thing is. I mean, you just about can't hold him. These little nets that we've got, Thomas was saying the best way to grab them out of the water if you have to is to just put your hand in the net and use that to hold on, because they'll just come right out of your hands so easy. I mean, this thing is so slimy, I can't even explain how slimy this thing is. It's got little bitty tiny eyes, so it can see, but not, oh man, it's so hard to hold. Not very well. I can't believe I'm holding one of these guys. This is actually a threatened species here in Georgia. These are protected. And these are some pretty important animals in these North Georgia streams because they act as they let us know by the water quality here. When the numbers of these really start going down and other amphibians, that's some stuff we really need to look at, because when their habitat declines and the water they live in, that can really affect us too. Every hellbender we catch is going to be taken back to Thomas's office so it can be processed. But luckily, his office is right here in the creek. So right now he's checking for a pit tag to see if his reader will pick it up. If it doesn't, this is a hellbender that's never been caught before. New one. Oh, this one's a no ID found. Yes, so this is a new hellbender, never caught before. Well, let me get in y'all's way.
Okay. Nah, not a lot for me yet.
If I'm in your way, tell me. I won't move, but at least I'll know I'm in your way.
This is an older, more mature individual. I can tell he's got a fat deposit on his tail. That kind of fat deposit on the top of the tail.
Yeah.
We'll take a disease sample. The sample for chytrid, fungus, primarily, and to archive it. He's got all his toes.
Hellbenders have a natural bacteria that help defend against pathogens. Understanding the health of hellbenders, as well as the health of the ecosystem they live in, will better help us understand why so many amphibians, not just here in Georgia, but worldwide, are declining at such a rapid rate. As we learn more about the health of hellbenders, it helps us paint a picture of the health of the ecosystem in which they live, which that can help point us to potential problems that may affect us.
This is the largest salamander in North America by mass. Technically, you have a siren that attains a longer length, but these are heftier salamanders, and they have two relatives, the Chinese giant salamander and the Japanese giant salamander that dwarf this one. The Chinese giant salamander can get 6 feet long. The largest one I've ever captured in Georgia was about 2 feet long, about that long. But this one's not. This one's a sizable male. I don't know if you saw the swollen cloaca right here. It's swollen this time of year. That's how you differentiate males from females. Okay, he's got tie,
Yes.
numbers, toes, front, right, 1 and 2 are regenerating, and he's got everything else. .5 snout to vent. They've got lungs, but they absorb the majority of the oxygen through their skin, and consequently they have extra surface area. Sometimes people call them lasagna lizards because that looks like lasagna, but they also have like sandpaperish textured feet, so they can hold on to slick rocks.
When a hellbender's scared, they begin to secrete even more mucus through their skin, which sounds disgusting because it is, okay? They are almost impossible to hang on to.
These are called passive integrated transponders. We'll insert one of these in the tail musculature.
These passive integrated transponders, or also known as pit tags, have a unique number for each microchip. So they're put into this giant, scary needle, which is then inserted into the tail of the Hellbender. That way, if it's caught in the future, we'll know exactly which Hellbender this was and all of its information. All right, we got him. Hey, don't put this in my finger next time. Wash my finger.
That one didn't bleed. That one didn't bleed at all. So.
These things are impossible to hold on to. The last thing I want is to drop it right in front of them, because once it gets in the water, it's gone. And we have to get all the data before that happens. That's so cool. I just can't get over how slimy they are. It's so hard to hold.
Snot otter's a good name.
Yeah, snot otter.
Vial of 95% ethanol. This is for tissue sample. I'll take a little tail snip of tissue.
It is.
Let's trade.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I got big fingers for this. I don't know about this.
I got big sausage fingers too, so we can do it.
Right now, Thomas is using very small scissors to actually cut little tiny pieces of tissue from the Hellbender's tail. I'm then using tweezers to place those tissue samples into a vial. These tissue samples will then be archived so future researchers can analyze these tissue samples to do genetic and DNA studies on this population of Hellbenders.
See, his can barely tell where I took tissue. That's the point. And where we injected the tag, he's not bleeding now. I'm sure that's not pleasant, but.
Did you give me the capture number?
I didn't. It's CCO3-23. Now you need to learn from Jason to be like, you should say, you didn't give me the capture number. That's the way you
Don't
do it.
act like it's your mistake.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't
his
yours.
mistake.
It was my mistake.
It's his problem.
And you took a swab too?
Yep, same number. $4.55, and the bag weighed 30. It's about the same.
5 grams more. That was
Okay.
420.
How long was the other one?
Just the
11.
first
Or
one,
just
plus
the-
the second one.
41.5.
And this one was what?
This one's a little stouter. This
How
one's
long was this?
39 and a half.
39.5.
This one's shorter, but it's bigger. I mean, stouter.
A
Yeah.
little stouter. For like me.
A little teapot. Short and stout.
Short and stout. I got this
That's a
one.
pretty one.
It is pretty. This has got a bite mark. See the bite mark? Another big Hellbender bit.
That might get fat scars, and then you can draw it up on that.
Okay, on its right front, all the toes are regenerating, and number 1 and 2 are fused. So it's, see that foot has lost all of its toes on that front foot from maybe from a battle with another Hellbender.
Oh, did you hear it? Is that it?
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. I was like, I didn't make noises.
I should have
You should've
let it go.
Up to this point.
Yeah, listen to it.
That one, pick that thing.
They are supposed to vocalize underwater
Oh, really?
somehow. gimpy foot.
The time has now come to process the little munchkin, and it is adorable. I've got really giant hands. It's only 1/4 of an inch long. No, I don't know. Well, was it 3 inches? I don't know centimeters. 100 centimeters. I don't know what that is. So 11 centimeters.
He's about he's almost 4 inches.
Almost 4 inches long, and cute little Hellbender right here. I asked Thomas, how old is this? And he shocked me with what he said, how old this little baby, a toddler Hellbender, okay? It's about 3 or 4 years old. So it's not a baby, but I did not expect this tiny thing to already be 4 years old. That is awesome.
This is what you call a half pink. Isn't he cute?
Very.
$11 centimeters. You see his little toes. He's got 4 on the front, 5 on the back. So he's got all his toes. He's complete. He's got a little tiny little bitty nick out of the back tip of his tail. Looks like somebody's nipped him. Maybe another Hellbender, maybe a crayfish. Now, a big Hellbender would eat one of these.
Really?
Maybe. He wouldn't be safe.
Now I think this is the coolest thing we've caught today. Not because I'm the one that caught it. Well, it just happened to swim into my net. But because it is so small. Here's why. Thomas was telling me about a different group of Hellbenders at another location where there were no females. They had all died off or disappeared for whatever reason, and there were just adult males left, living alone under rocks and could never reproduce. But here, we've caught 4 Hellbenders today. We know that the other ones were males. This one's too young to sex. But it also tells us that the Hellbenders here are reproducing, which means it has another 1/4 century to go. Hellbenders can live over 30 years and sometimes up to 50 years in captivity. I think it is amazing getting to see the next generation of Hellbenders. After catching this little Hellbender, we've come to realize they're harder to process than the big ones. You just can't hang on to them. We're going to take a tissue sample. We're going to take the swab for pathogens, but we're not inserting a pit tag. This thing is just way too small. We will measure it and get its weight to get as much data as we can.
Look how camouflaged that is. Not only, I mean, this is a small one, but not only does the tail look like a leaf when it's on its side, the head looks like a rock, and it's speckled just like the rocks. Look at this right here. I mean, look at that coloration.
And now it's time for my favorite part, releasing the Hellbenders. It's really cool to catch an animal, but releasing it is awesome. But first, we have to make sure the rock is where it needs to be. When we catch the Hellbender, we actually make a rudimentary drawing of the shape of the rock, which way it's facing, and where the entrance is. So we're trying to get the rock put back just like it was, so the Hellbender will feel right at home. A Hellbender breathes by absorbing oxygen through its skin, but this is only done when it's underwater. When it's out of the water, that's okay because it actually has lungs too. I've heard about people getting bit by Hellbenders before, and I was hoping that we would get to see him get bit. So, but the day's not over yet. So we'll see that.
Day's not over.
Yeah.
I've deserved it every time I've ever been bitten.
Yeah. As he's wearing his wetsuit in this cold water, yeah, he needs to get bit by a Hellbender today.
Once we capture the Hellbender and get as much data from him as we can, we release him back onto the rock from where we captured him, so as to disturb them as little as possible.
You know, if you didn't know what this thing was or where we're filming it, it could be almost alien looking. Especially if we edited this a little bit different, it could be like the thing of nightmares.
Did you get ready in the dark or something? Because you look like a beautiful nightmare. Don't you know?
Okay, that's just stupid. Let's get back to North Georgia. This water may look a little murky, but that's just because we've got it all stirred up. Usually it's pretty clear, but even when it's clear, this Hellbender still can't see very well. But its great sense of smell really makes up for those beady little black eyes it's got.
What I was about to
So
say
right
was-
now we're getting ready to release this little baby
before Jason said
3 or 4 year old
Hellbender, I
Hellbender.
thought he was kidding.
So
is I saw a bunch of debris in the net. So usually when you see debris, it means there's a lot of flow through, and that means the Hellbender doesn't like it. But a Hellbender this size sometimes will be there.
he can hide in that debris, I guess, better,
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think you believed me when I yelled Hellbender.
I didn't.
Why would you not believe me, Thomas? Oh, Lord.
Went right under.
This is number 4.
Streams that are not good quality, a lot of soil washes in to the stream and it clogs up the spaces under the rocks. It even covers rocks over. So you don't see a lot of rocks, and the rocks you do see are really big, and those spaces are what Hellbenders need for to hide and to forage. Stacks of rocks,
Yeah.
that's detrimental for Hellbenders. You stack the rocks for help in a stream outside of their normal natural distribution, and you have just eliminated natural habitat for the Hellbender, and that's not a good thing. So don't stack the rocks, and don't make chutes in streams for rafting, because where Hellbenders are, you've just moved their house.